Hello, my name is Zachary Silver, and this is my oral presentation for my final paper for the class English 170 taught by Professor Papa. My essay is called Eugenics Are Not Ethical, and my title is explained throughout the essay. I start off to talk about how many people in this world don't do things that are unethical, and many unethical things in this world are illegal, such as killing, and some aren't, but people just don't do them because they are seen to be unethical and not humane. And I believe that we should carry on with not doing things that are unethical, such as eugenics. Eugenics is a new science-created study that, if you don't know what it is the study of how to arrange reproduction within a human population to increase the occurrence of heritable characteristics regarded as desirable. And I believe this is unethical for a couple of reasons that I will explain now. Some backstory before I talk about that is that I read about in a book called Keywords for Disability Studies. It talks about how Sir Francis Galton was the one who coined the term eugenics when studying it in 1883, and that it came from the Greek and was described as to promote as the new science of improving the human race through selective breeding. This is pretty much saying that they're going to use eugenics to selective breed people into a perfect ideal society, which I don't believe anything is to be perfect in this world, and nothing is really perfect because that's an opinion, and many people believe one thing is good and one thing's not good, so it's very hard to determine what's perfect. And many people, such as Temple Grandin, talk about it in a different sense as the topic with disabilities and eugenics. Temple Grandin never formally discusses eugenics in her autobiography, but she explains why disabilities is important and why it would be wrong to use eugenics to get rid of people with disabilities. She explains how herself, with her disability of autism, have got her where she is today with creating books and creating inventions for things back in the past. And she has become very successful from her disability because it has made her creative. It has helped her in her own way. Another person that she talks about in her autobiography is Albert Einstein and how his disability has helped him. And Albert Einstein is a very famous and very well-known person because of his creation of the theory of relativity. And he believes that his disability helped him create the theory of relativity because normal adults that don't have disabilities such as autism don't think in those certain ways. So that's why he believes that his disability has helped him, and I think that is a very good thing, and people with disabilities should not be eliminated by eugenics, and they should still be allowed in this world because they have done very good things for us. Another thing that says eugenics is unethical is after the creation of it in the 1800s by Sir Francis Galton, there was many people who thought it could be used for evil, and if it falls into the wrong hands. One example of this is Hitler and the Nazis during World War II, that if they won and they used eugenics to create their perfect society that they strive to have, which would be blonde hair, blue eye people, then they would certainly be able to use eugenics, and that would be a very bad, unethical thing to do because that is not humane at all and very wrong, many people say. And even though it didn't happen back then because they lost, what is to say that history repeats itself again and someone else along the lines of Hitler comes about in the future where eugenics will be studied even more and be more accessible to use. So in the future, it could happen again, and it actually could be used this time. But if we stop the study of eugenics now and make it illegal, then we could stop future tragedies like that. Another point of it being unethical is many people in the world say believe in a God, and they believe that God makes each person for their individual purpose, and that is very wrong to change someone's purpose or change someone before they even had a choice to be changed, just because it is what the person desires. And that is unethical because you're not thinking about the person being born, you're just thinking about yourself and how it will affect your life, which I believe is inhumane and morally wrong. And that's why I believe it should be illegal. There are some pros to eugenics that could be good if it is studied more. One pro is that someone who is being born with a very serious disability that will affect their whole life in a great way could be saved before being born and maybe have a better life than just sitting in a chair paralyzed because they were born that way, and they could do things with their life. And also, some people have birth defects in the womb that might make them not able to survive while they're born, so they could be saved so they can live a life instead of just dying as soon as they're born. And those are just a couple pros, but I believe the cons definitely outweigh the pros, and I believe it should be illegal. I believe that a perfect world is very hard to determine, and nothing is really perfect, so we shouldn't really try to make it perfect. And that's pretty much what my essay is all about. I hope you read it through and enjoy it and see my points. Thank you very much.